Hi everybody, welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to be making placinte called Branza, which is a Moldavian cheesecake. Moldavia is just a region in Romania and it also originates from the Ukraine. So I hope you enjoy the video. So firstly, you need 550 grams of all-purpose flour. Just take aside 500 grams for the first base of the placinte. You're going to add half a tablespoon of salt into the mix. You're going to have 2 tablespoons of dried yeast. Add that as well. And also you're going to get 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Just like that, and just pop it into the center. The best yeast to use for this recipe is dried yeast, as it always activates when you put the buttermilk and milk or activate in there, so that's more better for you. You're just going to whisk it together so the mixture comes around carefully. And then once it's all into the flour, you just take your 3 tablespoons of oil. It can be any sort of cooking oil, so for today I'm going to use vegetable oil. You pour that into the middle. You get 1 cup of buttermilk, which you can also purchase at any Eastern European store. I got mine from a Polish store and it's only £1.19, so it's quite cheap for a litre of that as well. So you add that into your mix. Make sure you get most of the buttermilk in as well. And then you get a cup of whole milk or semi-skim is perfectly fine. And you add that to the mix as well. And finally, you can just take 1 egg on the side. So your mixture will look something like this. Once that is done, just whisk together the whole mixture. It should come together quite tacky at first as well. You just keep mixing until you get all the condiments or the ingredients into the dough mixture. Just keep mixing. You can use a whisk for this to get the dough clump out of it, but it should come out looking tacky just like this. So then once it gets all put together, just start going a bit faster and making sure the egg yolk breaks in between to give you a tacky look that's quite watery. So keep mixing and it should look like this. So once all your ingredients are mixed, it will look like a tacky sort of dough, so it's quite thick like that. What you want to do is get an electric whisk and make sure all the lumps are out of the placinte flour. So I'll show you as follows. Just put it in the center. So once that is all done, you add the extra 50 grams of all-purpose flour to the mix and it will start to form a dough. I added 100 because I realized mine was a bit too much buttercream and milk, and then you should form a dough just like this. You just keep kneading until you get this texture, so it should be like a soft dough type. The next step after that is get a well-surfaced space and flour it with all-purpose flour. And just dump the whole bit of dough into the middle, and you want to separate them into like golf ball sizes. So just literally gonna cut a bit off, and you're going to take it into your hands and just roll it into little balls and just put them onto the side. If it does feel a bit sticky, just add some flour from the table and it should be like about into my palm fitting. So the next step is you get one of your balls and you flatten it out like this. Make sure each side is fully floured enough so it doesn't stick to the table, as well as the well surfaced area. You pop it into the middle and get a floured rolling pin and just roll it outside into a more circular motion. So you continue to roll it until you get roughly a few centimeters, sorry, as a circle. Whoops, blooper, but you get the drift. You keep rolling until you get about that much in. So the next step for the placinte, you just flip it over and you just get a handful of mozzarella cheese. I've used mozzarella cheese because I don't really like cottage cheese per se, but the traditional recipe is cottage cheese and farmer's cheese. If you don't have any farmer's cheese, you can add feta cheese. That also helps. The same sort of texture for the placinte. But the farmer's cheese is quite soft, so it's best just to get about a tablespoon of that into each filling and spread it out. Just like that. So then it will look like this. The next step is what you want to do is make sure all the cheese isn't on the outer layer of your dough. You're going to then lift up the bottom, take it over into the middle, get the two corners, wrap it into the middle as well, and then just pinch the dough so it stays like that. And then finally take the top form and fold it over so it's like a parcel, and just pinch the middle as well, like this. So you're going to turn it over and then lightly roll it back into a circular shape. I'm not really good at rolling circles, but I'll give it a go. And just slowly roll the edges until it's about half a centimetre to a centimetre thick. And just keep rolling outwards from the centre, outwards, going clockwise. And there you have it, your first placinte. The next step, you're going to get a frying pan and you're going to preheat about on gas mark, I'll say 3 to 4, that's in the UK, about 1 tablespoon of any cooking oil. So I've used vegetable oil. You just pop that into the fire and let it heat a little bit. A lot of people tend to either you can bake the placinte or you can deep fry it, but I'm not really a big fan of deep frying, only because I don't like too much oil on my placinte. So I just do a shallow fry, so that's enough. So it's basically like making pancakes really, but you can shallow fry it. So you just wait for it to get hot, and then when it starts to get slightly warm, you just take one and then just pop it into the frying pan like this, and then you wait for it to go brown. I tend to flip it over every like minute and a half or 2 minutes as to a golden colour, and it will look sort of like toasted on each side. So after crisping each placinte on each side, I do it for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, as I said previously. You should flip it over and do something like this, just like a sort of numb breast. It should be golden brown. Some people tend to eat it quite light and fluffy when it's still white, but I want it to be a bit brown on the edges, so it just looks something like this. And you keep flipping over. You will start to see, because of the yeast that you add into the placinte mixture, it will start to rise a bit. Once it gets to about, I'd say about centimetre thick, you can take it out. But I just want the golden on this side, and yeah. So the centre should have had the feta cheese and the mozzarella cheese already melted, and there you have it, the perfect placinte. This can also be served with polenta, which you know is mamaliga, on the side as well. I'm just going to pop it into the plate, let it cool down for a minute or two, and there you have it, one Moldavian placinte. So let's just try and see what this tastes like. Oh, the cheese melted inside. That tastes amazing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Shouldn't talk my mouth full, but it is just so good.